Hey guys, it's Haps, and in today's video we are back with a Brotato, but we're going to be doing something a little bit different today because actually this recording was recorded with audio, but for some reason none of that audio actually recorded. So this is going to be a post commentary run of Brotato, but I'm going to try and commentate all the way through. It's obviously not going to be live, it's just going to be my take as we play through this game. Now, just looking at this, you'll probably notice I'm flicking backwards and forwards. That's because we've now unlocked the final character. I did that in a casual run. I didn't do any Danger 5 runs there. But in this one, we're actually going to try and tick off one of these grey characters you can see here. We actually choose Chunky. Now, Chunky gives us max HP modifications are increased by 25%. Plus 1% damage for every 3 max HP you have. So we start off with plus 4. So it's going to be all about HP this run. We're going to want to push HP as much as we possibly can. We get plus 3 HP recovered from consumables, which is really nice. That's going to be the way in which we heal, because on the downside, we've got minus 100% lifesteal, which really does kind of suck. HP regen modifications are reduced by 50%. Dodge modifications are reduced by 50%. And then speed modifications are reduced by 100%. Which I like the theme there, that if you're chunky, maybe you haven't got so much mobility, so those speed modifications are pretty nice. Now, in terms of weapons, there's an assortment here, but there are 2, and you can see me highlighting them there. There are 2 that kind of make sense. There's the Ghost Scepter, which allows us to generate more HP through kills, and then there's the Chopper, which has a 20% increase based on our HP. So it actually increases its damage output with the HP build. So we're going to go with the Chopper. I think this is actually possibly the first run I've ever used the Chopper, and it makes a lot of sense with Chunky. So we're straight in, we're into the desert here, and we're just going to try and get as many materials as possible. And the one thing I like about the Chopper is just that sweeping action. You can take out so many. So we've got an option here. Now, in the early stages, there are a few things that I'm looking for. HP, obviously, because it builds, not only builds our damage, but also gives us some more health. But also, I'm looking to try and pick up anything like luck, maybe some attack speed, not so much, and harvesting. Obviously, building out harvesting would be pretty good. But we find 3 choppers there, which is pretty nice. Now, for those who don't know, the first couple of shop phases, every time you re-roll, you're always guaranteed to get 2 weapons. So the first couple of shop phases is actually a really good chance to build out the number of weapons you have. And ideally, you want to try and get to 6 as quickly as possible. So again, we get faced with this selection and we have luck again. So we pick up the luck, we take a chopper, we take another chopper, and there's a 3rd chopper, which is so good. So we immediately have now 6 choppers when we go into wave 4. We've got 1 locked in, and we currently have 5 on us. And you'll notice I also locked a couple of other items there, and both of those were HP items, because this character is all about the HP. You want to go in on HP as much as you possibly can. So we lock those ready for next turn as well, and we work our way through wave 3. And we're already doing 24 damage on crit, which is pretty nice. Took a couple of hits there, a little bit careless, but in the early stages, as long as you've got your wits about you, it's not too bad. Okay, so we pick up the harvesting here because it's just we want to generate as much material as possible. We actually roll and we pick up the crit. So we take 2 tier 2 level ups there. And here we go. So we take the chopper and we have a choice here between either the broken mouth or the cake. And I think I'm just reviewing what the chopper actually gives us. So it gives us some lifesteal, which is kind of pointless. And I think it also gives us some melee damage. Yeah, 5 melee damage, I believe. So we jump in and we've got a full amount of choppers now. So we've got all 6 choppers. And we're in to wave 4. And we're just going to scoot around, trying to avoid these laser balls. 13 damage now, because we picked up a little extra HP. So it gives us a little bit more of a damage output. And hopefully we'll find some consumables, and I can show you. Okay, here we go. There's a tree here. We take the tree, and that'll give us, okay, it gives us plus 6. I think it only gave us plus 6 there because we only needed 6 to fully regenerate our health. Down to 2 HP. Wow, I did not realize how lucky that run was. Okay, immediately we take the HP here. It's a given. So we've got chopper, and we've also got 3 other things that we locked in. We had locked in a garden, we locked in some cake, and we locked in a broken mouth. We can't take the broken mouth just yet. Now, the reason we locked in a garden is that the consumables, I mean, I just walked over that consumable for no reason, but the consumables are the way in which we're going to heal. If you remember, this character has a big reduction on lifesteal, a big reduction on health regen, but it does gain more health back from consumables because of the choppers, and also it's got the +3 from the character ability anyway. So having a garden is just, that is going to generate a consumable for us to take once, twice, 3 times during a round, which we're going to be able to use in order to heal ourselves up. But what I want this character, okay, so we heal up for 8 there, so we get a plus 8 there, but we should be easily be able to pick up a plus 10, I think it is at this stage. So we recycle that, we no longer need that. Melee damage is really nice here, but it's all about the HP, and we actually take some extra luck there as well. We pick up the chopper, we pick up the HP, and we're looking at this, and we roll, and there we go! We roll into a serious amount of choppers, which is so nice. Already on wave 5. Now, I make a mistake here. You'll notice there's the snail. Now, the snail reduces the speed of the aliens, but it also reduces the speed of your character. However, this character has a minus 100% speed reduction, which doesn't only work on positive speed, but it also works on negative speed. So any item that actually gives us negative speed, we should be taking, because we do not face that reduction, because that is reduced down to 0. So anything that has negative speed, we don't actually lose speed, we don't gain speed with this character. We should be taking, and actually taking the snail and slowing the enemies down would be pretty nice. I guess on the flip side of it, if you're thinking about it, if we slow the enemies down, it takes them longer to get to us. Maybe we don't kill as many. There's that thought, but at this point, you kind of want to slow them down. So we take the harvesting there because it's a tier 2, we pick up another chopper, and we've managed to get ourselves all tier 2 choppers. And look, there's another snail, I get another opportunity. And I don't even look at it. I'm looking about the scar. I'm thinking about the scar. You can see I'm moving the mouse around, but I've not even looked at this snail. And honestly, you should be taking snail there. But we roll into an obliterator, and normally I'll be picking this up. But I kind of want to just play this character how I set out to play it. I wanted to play it with choppers. I wanted to use the choppers. We need the consumable, the extra HP from consumables just to survive. And the obliterator, you can see there the cooldown on the obliterator is 3.23. I'm actually checking Chunky there to see how much damage that we're going to get from the HP, because we won't be picking up range damage. The only way we would scale the obliterator damage is actually from building up our damage percentage, because we're not going to waste any materials on range damage throughout this run. So I'm actually just still pondering whether I take it on, and I decide, you know what? We're just going to stick with the choppers. We're going to stick with the choppers. The obliterator is a very strong item, especially when you come up against elites. But honestly, I wanted to play this character with choppers. I wanted to see how far we could get, whether we could finish with 6. And so we just decided to leave the obliterator behind. So wave 7, and you get these little spawning eggs, and you want to try and get to them as quickly as possible before they spawn. And you can see we don't quite get from left to right there, but we are able to take it down. Nice little item from the tree. Probably helps that we've got a decent amount of luck at this point. And that's one of the benefits of building early luck is... Oh, hello. We missed another egg, another spawn, and there's one bottom right, and I haven't seen it. And I don't get there in time, and they spawn another one. So I don't do a very good job at stopping them from spawning in this one. And there's another one there as well. Oh, so close. But yeah, one of the benefits of building out luck early on is also that not only are you going to find better items, better level ups, but you also are going to get more items from trees. Okay, so we pick up HP through the leveling. We roll through here. Want more luck, and then there's another snail, and I miss it again. The game gave me 3 opportunities to take snail, and it was only at this point, this very moment, I believe, that I actually thought, you know what, I should have taken snail on that previous roll. And then I start explaining the same thing with the helmet there. The helmet has the negative speed. We don't take any negative speed. You can see our speed percentage here is 0. So we should be picking up snail. So it gave me 3 opportunities. I actually couldn't remember it gave me 3. I thought it only gave me 2, which doesn't look great on me. But hey, look, we live and we learn, and we move on. Okay, we go into wave 8. Now, wave 8 can be one of the tricky waves. It can be a little bit dicey. I really like wave 9. Wave 9 is really good fun. Wave 7, as long as you hit the spawners, it's not too bad. But wave 8 can catch you out a little bit, and it's because of the big guys. These big guys charging in. Look how many we've let build up onto the map. I mean, it was a bit of a mistake for me. I should have definitely been taking them down a little bit quicker. But the big guys on the map, when they start charging at you, they can do some serious damage. We've got 75 health here as well. Not much armor, no dodge because of the modification reduction on dodge. We didn't really push dodge. But we're taking consumable, and you can see we get plus 12 from the consumable. So that's the way we're healing. We're getting plus 12 from it, which is pretty nice. and we're able to get through wave 12. We get 215 material here. Now I roll and I look for the health there. When you've got them all like tier 3 level ups, you want to look for health. And then we find alien eyes. Now alien eyes is one of my favorite items because I like to build decent amount of HP. So picking up alien eyes and alien eyes scaling from the HP is really, really nice. So you can see now here, a couple of alien eyes just kind of pop out. I think it's 6. I think it's 6. Maybe I'll correct myself later. But I think it's 6 alien eyes that kind of appear from you every, I can't remember how many seconds it is now. But they scale off of HP, so they can do a little bit of extra damage for us. And they'll hopefully, and they definitely will, because I know how it plays out. But they really do come into play a little bit later on. So this is wave 9. Wave 9 is a bit of a horde. You've got lots of these fairly weak enemies kind of charging at you in big groups. And it's just a great way for you to generate harvesting. Like, this is the big step up. Like, you will notice that the amount of materials that we've been getting in the previous rounds is like 150, 200. When you hit wave 9, this is your chance to get 400 plus. And you can see here, we've got 5 seconds left. We're already over 400. Ideally, I look for 400 at least, and we hit 459, which is pretty nice. We take the HP here. Honestly, I think, or do we take the armor? No, surely we take the HP. Okay, we take the HP, and I'm going to roll here, and I think I'm rolling for something a little bit better. There was some HP to take there, but I just kind of wanted to, and then we find 20 luck, and just like that, we got super lucky. So we'll combine, we'll bring in the chopper here. I think about glass cannon temporarily. I take the crate there because I think it was a speed reduction, and we obviously don't get any speed reductions. Not going to take rocket launcher. Doesn't work. We didn't take obliterator. Why would we take rocket launcher? I consider the medal, but because there's this, we lose crit and we don't gain the extra speed, I don't bother. But then we roll into the warrior helmet, which is perfect. It's literally a perfect item for us because we want to build out some of our armor. We want more HP, and we don't want to lose the speed, and we don't lose the speed. So that's a really good item for us. Not only do we get armor HP, but we don't lose the speed. So we go into wave 10 here, and wave 10 is not too tricky. If you got through wave 8, I don't think wave 10's much of a step up from wave 8. You get just a few more bigger guys, I believe. So it shouldn't be too tricky for us to navigate. And you can see the choppers at this point with 100 HP. The choppers are doing 46 damage, and they're critting for over 100 for those for the top tier choppers. So it's pretty nice. How much are the alien eyes doing here? Yeah, the alien eyes are actually doing 70, I believe. The alien eyes are doing 70, so they're the ones that are critting for 140. The choppers are doing 46, they're the ones critting for 92. And the crit number is that yellow number that you see there. So the crit is actually a good way to build out extra damage, because if you build your crit to being, say, 50% or plus 50%, more times than not, you'll crit. So more times than not, you're going to double your damage, which is really nice. And more alien eyes there. Every 3 seconds, the alien eyes are released. So we now have 2 sets of alien eyes. So we're not only going to be releasing 6, but we're going to be releasing 12 eyes out to the world. And so we pick up 2 really, really nice items here. The warrior helmet is pretty good, as we've already mentioned. We pick up the recycling machine too, because we've got 42 luck here. So with an increase in luck, it means that we have a greater chance of finding items in trees or just generally random drops. So we want to be using the recycling machine to recycle those at the end of the wave if we don't want them, to give ourselves more material. So I think generally speaking, most of the time I pick up the recycling machine or recycling station, whatever it's called, sorry. So you can see the alien eyes here popping off, and they do 170 damage on crit, so that's 85 just raw damage. And this is wave 11, and this is where you start to face these these bone guys. They're pretty tough characters. They are pretty tough characters, but with the crit and the 170 crit from the alien eyes and the 100 plus crit from the choppers, actually not too bad. Like, we're in a good place here. We've got 125 HP. We got extra armor from the last items that we picked up. We're in a really good place here. I was saying during this run at this point, I think I was saying I just want to build HP, I just want to build attack speed, and you know what, if we can find any gardens, that would be really nice, because more consumables on the map just means more places I can heal. But you can see here, we're down to half HP, but I do get stuck in right at the end there, and we get 400. Armor, dodge, we lose HP, we just don't want to take that. We don't gain any benefit from dodge really, and we don't want to lose HP. We take some armor. We look at the little muscly dude. We take this. We don't really mind dropping a little bit of range. Happy to do that. Bring in a chopper. And then we also pick up the 40% gain. We roll. There's not really much here for us. I think we roll again. And boom, we find a nice chopper. We also look at the ugly tooth here. And you can see it's got the negative 3% speed. Doesn't really matter to us. So we're happy to pick that one up. Peacock, we don't really want to increase the damage of wave 12. Because you can see there's an elite. And wheat's kind of nice, but I think we decide to pass up on the extra harvesting. At this point, we're just kind of happy ticking away as we are. And we go into our first elite. Now, honestly, elites are where things are really tough. Like, I think the elites are actually one of the toughest parts of any Brotato run, any Danger 5 Brotato run. Because one, it's random which elites you get. So it could really be, they could be a massive counter to your build. There might be some elites that are easier than others, and there definitely are. I personally think there are anyway. You have to be, like, your skill ability or your dodging ability has to be, for some, it has to be pretty on point. For others, less so. So, you know, the mechanics around beating some of these elites is very different. This one is fairly easy to survive against, I would say. Tricky to beat depending on what your damage output is. We could have really gone hammer and tong in here, but what I didn't want to do is I felt like this run was really good. We were scaling well, but if we got too aggressive here, we could potentially lose, and I just didn't want to lose the run. So we just played it safe, and here we roll and we find more HP, which we definitely take. When all of the options are one color, you can be fairly sure that if you roll, all of the next options are going to be that color. So in that case, they were all purple. So we rolled, we're looking for more HP because we wanted to just pick up purple HP. An extra 9 HP plus the extra is pretty good. So we're looking at padding here, and it gives you plus 3 max HP, 1 max HP for every 100 materials you have, and you lose speed. But again, we don't lose speed, so there's not a big reduction there. So this is really nice for us. We get extra HP for all the materials we have. So at this point, and then finally, the game gives us our 4th snail, and I decide, you know what? It's about time. It's about time we pick up a snail. So we actually lock this for next turn. But the padding is going to come in a little bit later on. So at the moment, we've got 40 material. It's nothing. It's not going to build out our HP. But as you watch and as we pick up the material as we go through this round, you'll see our HP increase. So I believe when we go above 100, so our HP is at 148 right now. Okay, it didn't. It didn't increase. Okay, there we go. It's up to 150. Maybe there's a small delay. Oh, of course, because we went in with 40. Maybe it's just extra. I'm not quite sure. But either way, the padding's really nice because it's just going to give us extra base stat HP. And we'll take down all of these. And at this point, wave 13 can be a little bit tricky because of the tentacles. And you can see we start taking a bit of damage. But the consumables, we heal pretty nicely off the consumables. We're down to 50 HP, down to 60. At this point, I'm actually just going around, like, trying to play it safe, look for consumables. We couldn't get that one. That one actually spawned off the map as we went through, but we get plus 13 from the consumables there. Down to 37, but pretty safe. So we recycle this. I think about taking this, although it gives you max HP, it actually takes away how much you heal from consumables, and that's the only way I heal, so I don't want to do that. Pick up the locked items. And we take extra damage against elites because we've got an elite on 18 and we've got a final boss elite. And I think by that point, we'll be strong enough that we can just take them on. So extra damage against those is pretty nice. We bring in the chopper and we get our first top tier chopper. And we go straight into wave 14. So now we're critting for 214 off the alien eyes, which are being released every 3 seconds. Really, really nice. And then the choppers are doing anywhere between, what was that? Like 100 damage? No, 73 damage and 100 damage, depending on which chopper essentially hits you, because we've got a top tier all the way down to maybe even just the lowest tier. I can't quite remember. But we've got an assortment of choppers, but they're doing decent damage at this point. And we're able to carve our way through. And the one thing about the chopper, and I mentioned it, I think, on the very first wave that we did, is that sweeping action. You can clear so many enemies at any one time. You can just completely carve out the group, which is really, really nice, especially when you get a group like this. Just a big group of enemies. You can carve your way through, and we can just pick up as much material as possible. So I'm just getting stuck in. I can see the health going down, but I feel like we're pretty safe. And we get ourselves 516. Tentacle is one of my favorite items. So you get plus 2% crit damage, and then plus 20% chance to heal 1 HP. So we're definitely taking that. We pick up the attack speed. And so that is the first elite done and first elite horde done, and it just leaves us with one more elite run, enemy on wave 18. So we're just going to build our way up for that. There's nothing here I don't think that we're going to take. We're just exploring the options. Triangle of Power is an option, but we decide not to take it. We definitely pick up the chopper, and I'm actually looking at this, and maybe we take some extra attack speed. I'm happy to do that. The lifesteal doesn't really matter to us. And we're not going to take bait because we just don't want to face those enemies. We probably could have taken it there, to be fair. Probably could have taken it. At this point, I don't think there's much point taking on extra luck. I think about taking the black belt, and we're on wave 14, maybe we could. And then we find more alien eyes. So we go up to 18, and the alien eyes are doing 113 damage. So the alien eyes do 113 damage, crit for 226. We still only have 12, but we will be going up to 18 alien eyes, which is kind of crazy, honestly. That is kind of nuts. The perfect item for this character, because we're scaling HP, we'll be scaling those alien eyes. If you find multiple alien eyes, you got increased chances of wiping things out, especially when it's doing 100 plus damage. You can see here, we're just going to chop away. We're actually fairly comfortable at this point. I'm feeling pretty good about this run at this stage. I'm just, the consumables are healing us for plus 14. We're not finding it too difficult to carve through the enemies, even when we're taking risks. We're not having to think about it too much. We've got a solid amount of armor as well, which is reducing the damage that we take. So yeah, I think Chopper's definitely the way to go if you're looking to do a dangerfied run. I do think Chopper's a good way to go, because if you can scale the HP quick enough at the beginning, it gives you a buffer to take hits, and it just makes your damage so much higher. So it helps you clear the waves, gives you more materials to spend, and then you snowball from there. So we pick up the alien eyes. We'll take the lemonade just to give us extra healing. More trees is pretty nice. It's a pretty tasty SMG, but it just doesn't work with this build. It just doesn't work. We definitely don't have the damage if we pick that up. So we roll here, we get another triangle of power. I'm rereading just to see if there's any reason to take it again. Decide not to. We pick up a chopper, and then we have another padding. So we find another padding, which is pretty nice. Remember, we still have the padding from before, but we haven't really been holding any of our material as we've carried over between the waves. And that's because we've just been continuing to look for more items to, say, for example, more alien eyes or more choppers, just to continue to build out our build. But going into the final couple of waves, it kind of makes more sense to, if you feel pretty happy, like I did at this stage, I feel pretty comfortable with the build that we've got. If you feel pretty comfortable and you've got padding, then maybe you can start to save some of that material. Avoid spending it, because every re-roll in the later shops gets more and more expensive. You can end up rolling 30, 40, 50 material away just to refresh the shop. So at that point, you're better off maybe kind of keeping some of it back just to give you some extra HP, especially with this character. Because this character not only has the choppers that scale off HP, but you also have the alien eyes scaling off HP, and equally, because we've got no other way to heal, you want to give yourself the biggest HP buffer. We take more HP here, it's a bit of a given. We take the poisonous tonic, and we also take another padding. And we roll 24, we see some extra attack speed, and we go into wave 7, and again, we have spent pretty much all our material. But this is wave 17, and we now have double padding. And just going back to everything I just said, I think from this point on, I pretty much don't spend a single bit of material, because now every single bit of material that we keep, every 100, is not only giving us an extra 1 HP, it's giving us 2 HP, because we've got the double padding, which is really nice. But you can see here, we're pretty comfortable. I mean, there's a lot of critting going on, which is pretty good. And we've got the chance of healing from that because of the tentacle. But we're feeling pretty comfortable. Like, those red bone-faced aliens can be really, really tricky in this wave. They can be a real sticking point if you haven't got the damage. But these choppers are making light work, and they're just carving through, which is pretty nice. A couple of items for us. We probably end up recycling those because we want the material. But I'm going around trying to collect up as much material as I possibly can. We leave 24, which is not a problem. Fertilizer, more harvesting, but we recycle both. We're happy to just take the material, and we've got 607 here. And I look at this board, and honestly, I just double check the padding. 1 max HP for every 100 materials you have. At the moment, it's giving us +6, I believe that says, because we've got 600 at the top. But that's actually +12 because we've got 2 padding. So I decided we just go into wave 18, and this is an elite. Now, I couldn't remember what this elite does, but it, yeah, basically just shoots out the lasers, which if you can dodge it, it's fairly easy to dodge. But we pin this elite in the corner. Normally it's me pinned in the corner, but we pin the elite in the corner and we burn it down, and then we get ourselves out of there. Very rarely the rolls are that way. More often they are reversed, and it is me who's pinned in the corner, just trying to survive on that last little bit of HP. But no, we pin it in the corner, we burn it down, we get it done. And then now we're just going to go around and we're just going to try and pick up all of the materials. Now you notice I've left the crate in the corner. Honestly, we don't need to pick it up. It'll automatically come to us at the end. It doesn't really matter. Same with that item, although we do scoop that one up on the way through. But any items that are left, they will automatically come to your character at the very end. You've probably seen it already in this run. So it's not a problem to have that elite crate just sat in the top right-hand corner. And I'd rather just be in the middle, trying to kill as many as possible, trying to get as much material as we possibly can. And we're up to 202 HP. So I actually take that last one because it gives us more HP and we lose dodge, and dodge doesn't really matter. The exoskeleton, I recycle this for 145. It's an extra 2 HP. We don't really need the armor, and some of those other benefits weren't much for us. So I look here, the tentacle's really nice. We probably don't need to take any of this. Honestly, I think we should just jump into wave 9. We don't really need any of this, but I'm happy to take the tentacle just to get some extra crit. And you know what? I'll bring in the chopper because it gives us another top tier chopper. I gamble on rolling 27. I have a little look, and like, you got barricade there. Now barricade, if I was to stand still, then I'd get even more armor, and we don't again lose any speed. But at this point, we're feeling so comfortable with how we've built out this character. We don't need to stand still. If anything, I want to be moving around. I need to be collecting up this material. So we've got 1,000 material here, which is kind of nuts that we're not spending it, but we're getting the extra padding from that. We're getting an extra, what would be 22 padding. 20, well, it would be a little bit more. It'd be an extra 24 padding. So we're getting extra 24 padding, which means it's just an extra 24 HP. It's pretty nice. But wave 19 is another one of those waves that is, I've always found it quite tricky. I mean, it makes sense being the penultimate wave going into the elites. But yeah, wave 19 can be a little bit tricky. But as I said before, the elites are the toughest part because they're the unknown, and you can't really predict or build around them. You just have to go in face value and take them on. You know what the final boss is. It never changes, so you can prepare yourself for that. But the elites you can't. So we recycle those, get a little extra, and we're up to 1,800 material now. I think about rolling, which we do, and we take the crit. I don't want to roll too much. We pick up a few items, we leave it at 1,600, and honestly, we just go straight in. And I said as I went into this, I was like, let's just focus on one, and we'll burn one down, and then we can focus on another. And here I am just getting stuck into both. Immediately plans changed, but I do end up doing quite a bit of damage to the two. And I pretty much go down to half life here. And when you actually look top left and you see that you're half life, it kind of scares you a little bit because half life typically is like, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 HP. But when you've got 200 HP, I actually forgot how much half-life actually was. And I still had 100 plus HP to work with. So I just got stuck in and we managed to get it over the line. And there we have it. There we have it. There is a chunky run. I'm going through the stats here. You can see we've got 233 max HP, which buffs our damage and also buffs the choppers. And you can see here, this chopper did 10,000 damage, had 118. That one was 9,000, 8,000, 12,000 for this one, which is pretty nice. 4,500, 7,000. And then I look at the alien eyes and just look at the damage on the alien eyes. 133,000. Absolutely ridiculous. Okay, well, that one wraps it up. This one was a little bit different. It was all about the post commentary. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, maybe like and subscribe. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.